Hey, it's Rihanna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I originally planned on filming a recipe, like an appetizer recipe or something to bring to Super Bowl, but I never made it to the store to get the ingredients, and I couldn't really decide on what I wanted to make anyways. So then I thought maybe I would do a vlog, but I never got out the camera this morning. So basically, I'm throwing something together for y'all just so I have something to post tomorrow. I know all 158 of my subscribers would miss me so much if I just didn't post anything on one of the days that I normally do. So I figured I would just turn on the camera and just talk to y'all about a couple things that I've been meaning to talk about. Two quick things that I wanted to mention at the beginning of the video today were some big announcements for my channel. Number one is that my link with YouTube is now my actual channel name. So I'm YouTube/C/Rihanna Harrison, which is awesome because previously my name, my link was like UX37, you know, it was just a bunch of combination of letters and numbers that didn't mean anything. Once I reached 100 subscribers, I was able to change my link name, or what my link was, but in the time between when I got 100 subscribers and I actually went on there to do it, YouTube changed the way that they handle that. And previously I could have picked any name I wanted for the link. I could choose any link. But now they do it basically what your name is on your channel. I didn't really want to change my name to something like, you know, Life with Rihanna or Rihanna Plans or something like that. So I just decided to keep it Rihanna Harrison. So I am now officially Rihanna Harrison, a verified link on YouTube, so that's really exciting. And if you follow me on Snapchat, you already know about this, but I also got this from Google. It is regarding my AdSense account for the ads that I have on my YouTube, and I do make money off of this, obviously, like most YouTubers, but I'm still very small potatoes in the world of YouTube. But I did make enough money for the Google AdSense people to send me the postcard to get onto my account and verify my contact information, so when it's time for them to cut me a check that they have the correct information, and so my account is verified with Google AdSense as well. Those are both super exciting things, and I want to thank y'all so much for helping me grow my channel. So while we're at it, why don't we go ahead and click that thumbs up button for me so we can keep growing the channel. A couple weeks ago, I did a reading with a psychic or a tarot card reader, or whatever you want to call it. And in the reading, she talked about fertility and if I'm gonna have kids and anything like that. If you didn't watch that video and you're interested in seeing it, you can click up in the eye. I'll put a link for that there, as well as down in the description below. But when I was doing the recap for my reading, I did say that I wanted to do an updated trying to conceive video for y'all because it's been a while since I've talked about it, and I figured that it was time for me to update y'all as far as what's going on with that. So here's my, friendly disclaimer to everyone. If you're not interested in hearing about things that may be considered TMI to a sensitive person, which in reality, it's life and you shouldn't feel that way. But if you don't prefer to hear these things, you can just go ahead and maybe click on one of my other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Now for everyone else who stayed, which was probably all of y'all, because I mean, I wouldn't click off of it. So here recently, I've been starting to feel not that I don't want kids. Obviously, Jonathan and I would love to be parents. But I'm starting to feel like I don't want to put so much pressure on us trying to get pregnant. I'm 34. I'll be 35 in July. I haven't gotten pregnant, in my adult life. And I just don't think it's gonna happen. And so I'm trying to come to terms with that, as far as realistically, I'm probably never gonna get pregnant and have a baby. And that's emotional for me, obviously, but surprisingly, that's actually a lot harder for Jonathan than I expected. He gets really, like, I've been dealing with this for a long time. Like, I would say I have been trying to get pregnant for like 14 years. You know, I was married previously, and, you know, I've wanted to be pregnant basically ever since I was old enough to be pregnant. But I waited until I was an adult, which, you know, is the right thing to do or whatever. And then I waited longer because of pressure from my ex's family that we weren't financially ready. But I mean, I have regrets from that now, because I believe that in the beginning of my marriage I was probably capable of having children, because, you know, I had normal cycles, and I chose to take birth control. And I'm not saying that like birth control made me not able to get pregnant. I gained weight, and I stopped having a cycle. And even though I've lost weight, my cycle is still really irregular. Like, if y'all remember my last update, I don't remember when it was, like September, that was the last time I've had a cycle. It's the beginning of February. I just had my period again for the first time. And, you know, we don't have insurance, and, you know, we're not gonna pay out of pocket for any of this because it's expensive. And unfortunately, that's just not a priority for us to spend our money medically, because it's too expensive. I mean, that's like one of my biggest complaints with the United States and how our healthcare system works. Like, it's ridiculous that if we wanted to try to do this out of pocket, it would cost us, you know, $25,000. And I mean, and that doesn't even guarantee that we get a baby. So in my mind, I would rather wait and use that money for adoption if we decide to do that down the road, versus basically throwing it in a bucket and a prayer and hoping that we get a baby out of it. Like, that's not realistic for me. And I'm sorry if this video is kind of like everywhere, but there's a lot of like feelings and like emotions and everything that's involved, and it kind of takes me all over the place as I'm trying to talk about it. So back to the topic about like not trying to put the pressure on trying to conceive. I'm just trying to enjoy my life for right now, in the present. Like, without kids, Jonathan and I are capable of literally picking up and doing anything that we want to at any point. You know, we can go to New Orleans for our anniversary without really having to even think about it. And, you know, of course there's like the whole like money side of it. Kids are really expensive, and we live a pretty flexible lifestyle regarding, you know, our finances. We can spend kind of, you know, selfishly, and there's just a different type of lifestyle for not, you know, for being kid-free. I don't want to say anything that makes me seem like I'm selfish and I wouldn't be fit to be a good parent. Because obviously if Jonathan and I were to get pregnant, I would be just like over the moon excited, obviously. But it's like, I can't, I have to like give up that hope. And that's probably really sad to hear. Like, especially the people that are close to me, like, you're probably really sad for me. And it is sad. But at the same time, like, it's literally been like 15 years. Like, I have been trying to get pregnant for 15 years. Like, every single month is that soul-crushing feeling of, it wasn't this month, it wasn't this month. And, you know, hearing about other people getting pregnant, especially people who don't necessarily want to be pregnant, or don't deserve to be pregnant. I'm sorry, that's kind of controversial or whatever, but I'm sorry, there are some people that don't deserve to be parents. Like, they don't deserve to have a baby. It's just the way that it is. And there's people like Jonathan and I who would make great parents and we can't get pregnant, or like some other people that I know that I'm not gonna like tell their story on my vlog, that would also deserve to be great parents and have experienced a loss or, you know, whatever. And I feel like the one like silver lining in all this for me is that I may have never ever seen a pregnancy test say positive, but I've also never seen it say positive and then have to experience loss. Like, I would rather never get pregnant and never be a mother than to get pregnant and lose my child. Like, that would be just like so devastating. And I can't even imagine having to like pull myself up and live through that. And women do it every day. There's people that are close to me that I know who have experienced loss. There are people that I watch on YouTube that have experienced loss. And I mean, it's still like kind of not talked about and kind of hush hush. But I don't want to take away from their stories. But like, so I don't want to say I can't imagine living through that, because I'm sure they literally can't imagine living through it, but yet they do it every day. And so that's just amazing to me. So for now, I think I'm going to end the Trying to Conceive series. And I'm going to focus on enjoying my life now, how it is with my husband, and also helping him get through this, because he hasn't had as long to deal with this like mentally as I have. You know, we've only been married for 2 years and we've only been together for 4, and he wants to be a dad like probably as much or not more than I want to be a mom. And so it's really hard for me to see him going through that. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get back up here and tell y'all some like super exciting news that something has happened, you know, to change my mind about this. But until then, like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and officially, you know, cancel Trying to Conceive updates. There'll be no more of those. And who knows, maybe the process for adoption will start sooner rather than later, and I will definitely keep y'all updated as far as that goes. The last thing that I want to say, and I don't want to come across harsh or like rude or anything like that, but for those of you who have not had to struggle and can get pregnant like super easily, like just like you look at someone and you get pregnant type of thing, be really mindful of your friends and what they might be going through, because a lot of people struggle and you don't know. And my last little PSA is April Fool's pregnancy jokes are never funny. Ever. Period. Don't do them. Alright guys, I know that was a harder video to watch because it was a hard video to make. Lots of emotions, lots of feels, but I appreciate you watching it. As always, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave any comments or questions down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. You should have though, but just in case. And I will see you next time. Bye.